everyone. Welcome to this Chosen Lifeline for Men. My name is Walter Jennings, your chosen life practitioner, where I've been called to challenge and change the motivation, mentality, and mettle of men. Today, I want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about having a short-term mentality. Now, short-term thinking simply means that we are only considering what is in front of us. Instead of considering the possible impact over the longer term, we only think about what may happen today, tomorrow, or even next week. And short-term thinking is something that causes bad leadership because it leads to poor decisions or a lack of action. And sometimes we can get away with this and we simply need to fix the problem or take the opportunity now. But the real issue occurs when the consequences of our actions or our inactions, they lie hidden and they only emerge over the longer term. So when we think about this in our own lives, I know for me, when I think about the first time I got a credit card, or some of the physical interactions that I've had with certain people, in that moment, it seemed like, okay, I'm just gonna live in the moment. But the longer term impact of that has shown that I probably should have made a better decision. And even in this generation and day and age, they have a phrase called YOLO. YOLO means you only live once. And so the idea is that you want to be in the you want to live in the moment. You want to throw caution to the wind, and you just want to do it because it feels good and because you want to do it. And there are absolutely times where that is appropriate. But the challenge is that when we begin to live in that space and when we begin to adopt that mentality in every area and aspect of our life without consideration to planning, without consideration to how this may not only impact us, but impact other people in the long term, it can become very destructive to our life and our future. And so it's easy to see how people can make decisions aimed at their short-term problems that might work against their long-term interests. And a short-term mentality isn't something unique to any particular group of individuals or a particular job or professional sphere. We've all made our share of terrible impulse decisions, and if we're lucky, the ramifications of those things weren't too bad down the line. And one of the things that is a tool of short-term mentality is procrastination. Of course, we know this is us delaying the inevitable, pushing things to the side, delaying, and then ultimately waiting until the last minute to do that 500-word essay or to do that particular assignment or to renew our license or our tag. And so that temporary relief comes at the expense of our time. And time is the most precious and valuable commodity that we have. And procrastination is an enemy against that. So every decision has its consequences. However, a series of decisions made with the goal of just getting through the day or just getting to next week can put us in a bind for months and years to come. And so problems are always going to seem easier to solve at a later time or at another date. And big decisions are going to seem easier to make in a couple weeks' time. But the truth is that unless you're genuinely waiting for more information or you're waiting for clarity, a delay will not help to serve us, and they won't make things better. It will only make things worse. And so the decision at hand, it may be hard, but guess what? That's a part of leadership. And we as men, we have to make sure that as leaders that we are thinking about the long term. Yes, we live in the present, but we have to think about tomorrow. And we want to make our goal is to make good, well-informed decisions. And part of that is making sure that we're getting good counsel, making sure that we've got all of the facts, that we got as much information as we can, and then being prudent in making that decision. So we don't want to procrastinate and sit on the things and the decisions that we need to make, but we do want to make sure that we're also not delaying and operating in procrastination and making sure that we are considerate of the long term. One of the good strategies that we like that will be helpful is beginning with the end in mind. So as you go into a certain project, as you prepare to get ready to do a mission or anything that you're working on, start with the end in mind. Think about what it is that you want to accomplish and what you want the outcome to be, and then pace yourself accordingly and allow your decisions to align with that. Now, we don't need to invite trouble on ourselves by embracing a short-term mentality or procrastination. The easy decisions on the non-decisions decisions are definitely tempting for us to just allow things. If we just ignore it, it'll go away, or to just work out on its own. But we cannot allow ourselves to become dismissive and irresponsible when it comes to addressing the things that we are responsible for adhering to. And so we also know that we have individuals that are relying on us to make sure that we are making good long-term decisions, or decisions with the future in mind. And so sometimes we'll have to sit in those difficult decisions, and the most important thing is to learn from every experience. If you've made a short-term decision that didn't work out well, being able to be honest with yourself about it so that you can ensure that you have all of the information so that you can make a better decision based on the impact of what it may potentially look like in the long run. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this Chosen Lifeline for Men. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe at chosenlifespecialist.com and book me for a session. I would love to speak with you and hear a lot more about your short-term or battles with your short-term mentality, and how we can work together on having more of a long-term mentality and plan for your life. Again, my name is Walter Jennings from Chosen Life Specialist, where I've been called to challenge and change the motivation, mentality, and mettle of men.